What's going on, guys? It's Gale here, welcoming you to another build video for Dragon Age Origins. Today the build is Assassin Rogue, which is the highest damaging build in the game. To start in character creation, if you are min-maxing, you'll want to go with Human because they provide a few additional stats that we want. We're going to start the build off with 4 Dexterity and 1 Strength. Dexterity and Cunning are the most important stats for Rogue, but we also dip into Strength to wear the best armors. For abilities, we're going to kick off the build with 2 core abilities in Dirty Fighting and Dual Weapon Sweep. As always with my build videos, there will be a link in the description to a Google Sheet, or just pause the video here for full details on leveling and equipment for the build. One of the first aspects of this build I wanted to mention is that rogues are a fantastic face for the party. Give them coercion and lockpicking and you'll pretty much be able to access all options within the game. The core abilities we will need for the early game that will be used for really the entire game are Dirty Fighting, Dual Weapon Sweep, and Momentum. Dirty Fighting is a fantastic ability that stuns the target for a short while, which is always valuable, but using this ability in combination with a later passive talent, Coup de Grace, that we unlock at level 9, you are able to get backstab damage to anyone stunned whether you are behind them or not. The next ability we have is Dual Weapon Sweep. In the early game, backstabs are much harder to come by because we do not quite have proper threat generation from our tanks. Because you'll be doing a lot of damage from the front, this ability does very good damage with a low cooldown, and it has an AoE in front of you. This will be your primary damage ability for the early game. The last early core ability is Momentum. This is a sustained spell that greatly increases your basic attack speed. Because this build is mostly oriented around basic attacks, this ability increases your damage significantly, allowing you to land more backstabs in quick succession as well as dueling from the front. The last talent I wanted to mention is Deft Hands. This is a completely optional talent within this build. If you plan on having your party include Zevran or Leliana, then you can forego this talent tree to accelerate your build by giving them the Deft Hands talent instead of yourself. The main specialization we will need for this build is Assassin. This specialization is acquired in 2 ways. The fastest and best way to acquire this specialization will be from Zevran. If you become friends with Zevran, it will eventually lead to him teaching you how to become an assassin. This is the way that I recommend. The other way to acquire the specialization is from purchasing the manual in the Denerim alienage for 11 gold. The problem with doing it this way is that it does not become available for purchase until after the lands meet, which is very late into the game. The main playstyle in the endgame for this build is going to be getting behind enemies and one-shotting them from backstabs. A large part of being able to do that is gathering all of these passive talents. Lethality, Exploit Weakness, and Lacerate all greatly increase the damage you deal from your backstab attacks. Once you reach the mid to late game with all of these talents online, you'll be taking out pretty much any enemy in just a few attacks. In the late game, you will have only acquired a few core abilities, which are Song of Courage and Mark of Death. Song of Courage is a sustained ability that will give you a slight boost in damage and crit chance, but that is all we really want. Mark of Death will also be another ability that gives more damage for marking a target, which will be great for higher health targets and bosses. Here is all of the best in slot gear for this build. You will want 20 strength by the end of the build to be able to wear some of it. As always, where exactly to find the gear will be in the Google link in the description. Thank you all for watching.